Here are 10 ways you know you grew up in Richmond. Hello everybody, I'm Chris Donnell with RE/MAX West Coast and the Donnell Real Estate Group, your community realtors. And this week I got a fun video about 10 ways you know you grew up in Richmond. And number 10 on the list is enjoying a Danny's Screamer. Unfortunately, Danny's Market closed a few years ago at the corner of Garden City and Francis. But if you're a kid like me growing up here in beautiful Richmond, you probably remember jumping on your bike or walking to Danny's Market on a hot summer day to enjoy one of those delicious screamers. And number 9 on the list, you might remember this one from back in the day. It used to be across from Lansdowne Mall in Lansdowne. That's right, the Stardust roller skating rink. Who doesn't remember doing that chicken dance na 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 at their birthday parties back in the day? I remember being there on my 9th and 10th birthday parties. Always a great time. Always getting a few bumps and bruises on the knees, but we always had fun. And number 8 on the list, if you grew up in Richmond like me, you probably remember having a ditch in front of your front yard back in the day. I remember I did growing up on Lockhart here in West Richmond, and it was a thing that me and my friends would always jump the ditches, and if you had enough guts, try to create a little jump and jump over it with your BMX bike. We used to have a lot of fun in those ditches, catching tadpoles, the whole 9 yards. I know they're almost distinct now, but that's the reason why Richmond got the name Ditchman. And number 7 on the list today is the old Blundell Bump, which used to be located at Shell and Blundell, well, the railway tracks at Blundell. If you remember growing up back in the day, it was a hefty jump and you really had to slow down, and if you didn't, you were more likely to ground your car out going over that jump. It was quite dangerous, and thank God our city of Richmond finally fixed it. But if you remember growing up here as a kid, we had the Blundell Bump. That was number 7. And number 6 on the list is, well, you hung out or watched the slam dunk competition at the Dolphin Park Classic, which originally, of course, used to be located at Dolphin Park until it got too big, they had to move venues. But if anybody remembers, Dolphin Park Classic was created because of the Steveston and Richmond High rivalry back in the 80s. Shout out to TJ for helping put that together. Still going strong after all these years, and I know back here in 2022 it's going to be kicking off again at South Arm. So I still remember heading over to Dolphin Park and seeing Jamal Crawford from the Chicago Bulls show up with a team from Seattle, and they did some serious work on some of the teams. And number 5 on our list is you knew somebody worked at Steveston Packers. That's right, the Steveston Packers, which used to be located across the street from Steveston Park, just off Moncton, which is now actually the Village, which is a development that was built about 15 years ago. I knew a lot of friends and actually had family that worked at Steveston Packers. So if you grew up here in Richmond, I guarantee you either know or worked at Steveston Packers. All right, number 4 in this list is, well, this is a good one, and if you like food, you're definitely gonna like this one. Number 4 is you ate a sub at Bob's Subs. It used to be located at Cook and 3 Road in the subdivision there, which is now a new office tower, which Bob's Sub did close down a few years ago. But if you remember those greasy subs, it was a staple here in Richmond for years. So number 4, Bob's Subs. And number 3, if you were young like me and used to ride your BMX bike in the Steveston area, you probably remember the BMX track, which used to be right behind the ballpark, the fast pitch park in Steveston, right off of Moncton. It used to be a full BMX track there, and I remember my cousin and I riding our bike up there every weekend just to hit the jumps and try to become a professional BMX rider. That was right in the heyday, and if you remember in the 80s growing up, you probably remember the movie Rad. We always tried to mimic that movie, hitting those jumps in the BMX park there in Steveston. And number 2 on the list, if you remember growing up in Richmond, you probably remember the old park, the outdoor playground that was at the 3 Road McDonald's. Now a lot of you know the 3 Road McDonald's was actually the first ever McDonald's in Canada, and they had a terrific outdoor playground with the hamburger and all these different characters that you could play with, and some slides that would always leave a burn in the back of your back. And number 1 on the list is the Richmond Salmon Festival that happens every year on July 1st for Canada Day. It always kicks off with a great parade. I remember being a kid lining up early to get a great spot to see the amazing parade. And then of course you got the amazing food, you got the all the great booths, and then typically you'll end it off with some fireworks that used to be at Gary Point. I know things are probably changing this year due to COVID, but hopefully we can get back to a proper Salmon Festival and enjoy the times with our family and friends. So there you have it, guys. That's 10 reasons you know you grew up here in Richmond. If you have maybe a moment that you'd like to share with us, drop it in the comment section below. Like and subscribe our channel, and share this with your friends and family. And you know, I've been here in Richmond for over 42 years. I ain't going anywhere. I absolutely love it, and hopefully you do too. Have a great day, everybody.